hoping to remind car enthusiasts of the emotions they felt when the 918 Spider was introduced, Porsche now offers the 2018 Panamera Turbo SE Hybrid. It's the new range topper for its one, and only, sedan. It relates to the 918 Spider in the sense that the new Panamera is both the highest performer of the model line and a hybrid. The heart of the operation is a longitudinally mounted 4.0-liter V8 with 90-degree banks, 4 chain-driven camshafts with variable timing and direct injection. It's a hot V setup, meaning the intake ports are outside the V, and the exhaust ports are inside, where 2 twin-scroll turbochargers lie. Those compressors help spin up 550 horsepower at 5,750 revolutions per minute and 568 pounds-to-foot of torque at just under 2,000 revolutions per minute. The hybrid capability comes courtesy of a 136 horsepower and 295 pound-to-foot of torque electric motor, which bolts directly to the back of the V8 and ahead of the 8-speed PDK dual-clutch transmission. The parallel system includes an electric decoupler so that the internal combustion engine and electric motor can work in concert or on their own. Total system power comes to 680 horsepower and 627 pounds-to-foot of torque, which is available, effectively, whenever. That's a lot. Good thing power is distributed to all 4 wheels. Unlike the 918. That power comes mechanically from the same package, no separate electric motor to drive the front axle. Instead, a slathering of differentials, clutches and software manages what power goes where. As a result, several computers decide how much the front and rear axle receive, and indeed how it's distributed between the driver and the passenger side. Also, unlike the 918, the Panamera carries 4 doors, stretches 199 inches and rests on a steel structure. Not to mention all the luxuries and niceties shoved in. All told, the e-hybrid weighs about 5,100 pounds, which is within 300 pounds of a base Chevrolet Tahoe. Part of that heft comes from the 14.1 kilowatt-hour battery in back, allowing the e-hybrid to run on electricity alone for 31 miles. Efforts to belie physics and usual penalties involved with weight, Porsche engineers mounted an air suspension to each corner in lieu of steel springs. These are standard equipment and give the e-hybrid adjustable ride height. The high setting allows for better clearance up inclines like steeper driveways. It can ride low while cruising the interstate to slip through the air a little better and increase badassness while doing it. Porsche built what it thinks a luxury flagship sedan should be. Big enough to comfortably accommodate 4 adults, but tough and sprightly enough to retain track prowess. The affluent among us never use the same vehicle to travel across the country and play on the track, but the point is you can with this one. A 2-in-1, of sorts. To prove it, Porsche arranged time to drive the e-hybrid on a track. A 1.4-mile, 19-turn track, no less. There we learned this isn't 2 cars in one. One corner, really any given corner, revealed 3 cars. At turn-in, and the braking zone leading up to it, it's simply impossible to hide the considerable girth. Don't confuse this with poor body control or overworked machinery, the exact opposite is true. Both the active anti-roll bars and air suspension mitigate pitch under braking. As you dial in, steering lean is also kept at an impressive minimum. Brilliantly done, really. But you feel lots of energy transfer. You can tell lots of inertia must be overcome to change the rate of motion. It understeers a bit and feels like a big sedan. As you approach and clip the apex, the 275mm front and massive 325mm wide rear Michelin Pilot Sport 4 tires get to work, as does the double wishbone front and multi-link rear suspension geometry. Ultimate lateral grip is higher than expected. Constant speed, left-right transitions, too, come on more willingly than the scales would suggest. As long as you don't have any big brake zones in the mix, the feel quickly changes to a much smaller sports sedan. On the road, these 3 distinct characters meld into one unique, highly competent road car. One that just happens to achieve great mileage. By default, The Panamera Turbo SE Hybrid starts in e-power mode, which exclusively uses energy from the battery unless you hit the throttle too hard, or the battery runs dry of juice. Then the turbo V8 will spin up and contribute to forward motion. At that point, you're in hybrid auto mode, which runs the engine, but moves the Panamera along with high regard to efficiency. Sport and Sport Plus modes switch priorities to acceleration over efficiency to varying degrees. Luxury comes from items like soft close front and rear doors, which use electric motors to finish the job as long as you close hard enough to reach the first latch, and a nice long list of the usual accoutrements. Switch the chassis to comfort mode and it's a big cruiser, full of power. It's plenty soft for a comfortable ride, yet composed, perfectly at home on back roads. Overall, the e-hybrid is capable on track but more enjoyable on the road. The e-hybrid costs $185,450, and that's before extras like LED headlights, an assistance package that includes things like night vision assist, which uses a thermal imaging camera to help spot living objects in your path before you can, and lane keep assist, and a super extra fancy stereo. Out the door, our example runs $214,050. Yikes. Thanks for watching and keep updated by subscribe.